So as you think you're trying to get a handle on things, man, these things just continue to keep happening.
Renewed calls to end gun violence as shootings continue. For one local activist, today's incident hitting close to home.
We've been in for a dry, sunny stretch, but now the rain returns to the tri-state, and we have multiple chances to see some rain and storm potential. I'll time it out for you coming up in my Weather Authority forecast.
Why would a kid do something like this?
We have to look into the psychology.
A teen arrested for making threats against the rolling suspension bridge. We examine the psychology of why these types of threats are becoming more common. Plus, talking back the latest updates to one AI software, making it sound eerily like a human.
Breaking news alerts and the Weather Authority forecast. This is Local 12 News.
And we begin tonight with breaking news out of the West End. Officers were called to Lynn Street near York and Finley shortly after 10. They found a 50-year-old man shot in the leg. He was taken to the hospital with what are being called non-life-threatening injuries. Police have not said if they have any information on a possible suspect. And with that, we say good evening. I'm Kyle Inskeep. An 18-year-old is dead after a shooting this afternoon. Officers found him around 1 in Winton Hills. Local 12's Tyler Madden spoke to a man who is actively working to end gun violence in the same neighborhood where that shooting happened. Tyler.
Kyle, Mitch Morris was at the scene of the shooting on Craft Street this afternoon. It was just steps away from where Morris does most of his outreach work.
It's just horrible, man, what's happening in the community to our kids, man. And, the whole community, the whole city should be hurting right now.
Morris reacting to the deadly shooting in Winton Hills Monday afternoon. Police say shortly after 12:30, they responded to a courtyard on Craft Street and found one man dead.
Just horrible scene out there today, man, and so many people are hurting. You know, the whole community's out there hurting. So as you think you're trying to get a handle on things, man, these things just continue to keep happening.
The shooting Monday happening right around the corner from where Morris and his group, Save Our Youth Kings and Queens, conduct most of their outreach.
When something like this happens, it always tend to set you back a little bit, but we're not going to stop. We got to keep going. There's too many parents out there that have lost loved ones for gun violence for us to try to stop.
Morris and the group are making progress on fixing up the space. There they plan to house services including classrooms for tutors and offices for counselors.
We're trying to put as many resources as we can in the community and take the resources to the people. You know, so we're trying to get things set up in there. We get them kids something to do besides all this negativity.
He says it's important to have a permanent location, making it a more open and comfortable environment for people to come in and get help.
We got to invest in these isolated communities that's off to the side where make them think nobody don't care about them. We let them know we love you.
The group working tirelessly, trying to end the violence.
Please, please, please put these guns down. If you're one of the ones out here listening, if you're struggling and need somebody to talk to, please give us a call. Let's talk.
Morris is looking to continue the conversation with a town hall set for Saturday, October 21st. He plans to have young people speak about the threat of gun violence in the neighborhood and ways to combat the issue. Tyler Madden, Local 12 News.
All right, Tyler, thank you so much. And right now, police are still searching for a suspect in this shooting. They're asking anyone with information to call Crime Stoppers. You see the number there on your screen, 513-352-3040. You do not have to give your name to qualify for a cash reward. The family of a woman who was killed over the weekend while walking her dogs in West Price Hill is pleading for information tonight. Cincinnati police have not found the driver who hit and killed 33-year-old Kimberly McCleary Saturday night. She was crossing Glenway Avenue when she and her two dogs were hit. Investigators say that she was in a marked crosswalk, but the driver had the green light. The person who hit her did not stop. Her family is struggling right now to understand how someone could do this.
Anything that saw what had happened that could possibly help, so this doesn't happen to anybody else. This should never happen, and a mother should never lose her child before they go first. This is horrible. It is. It's so bad.
I'm so sorry again.
Police say that Kimberly's dogs also died. The family has set up a GoFundMe to help pay for Kimberly's funeral. We have a link to that GoFundMe inside this story at local12.com. If you know anything about the hit and run, you're also asked to call Crime Stoppers. The FBI tracked down the person behind a series of bomb threats on the Roebling Suspension Bridge. The 14-year-old was arrested in Michigan, and because of that child's age, there's not much police can tell us right now. But Local 12's Luke Jones sat down with a psychologist with some insight on what may be driving their decisions.
For a time, it was becoming routine. Someone called in a bomb threat, police shut down the Roebling Suspension Bridge, and then reopened it hours later. The first threat came in September 13th. And was followed by 3 more. The caller claimed the bridge was rigged with pipe bombs, demanded a $400,000 payment, and threatened to start shooting if he didn't get it. We now know that caller was just 14 years old.
Why would a kid do something like this?
We have to look into their psychology.
Psychologist Dr. Stuart Bassman says it's no coincidence the teen chose to threaten a bridge hundreds of miles away from his home in Michigan. He says anonymity is something threat hoaxers seek.
And in a sense of anonymity, make a threat that would scare people so that people would know how they feel deep inside, how terrified they are all the time.
In a similar vein, the tri-state saw a slew of swatting calls last year, some targeting schools. The culprits were all juveniles.
To a great extent, this is a variation of cyberbullying. But instead of attacking a person directly, you're attacking a location.
Do they pose any real danger to the public?
They do pose a threat. How tangible of a threat, it's hard for us to know. But we do know that most of the time, they're shooting blanks.
Credible threat or not, they have the potential to cause widespread panic and major disruptions. And Bassman says the threats usually don't come out of the blue. They're often preceded by other troubling behavior.
Look at what they're drawing. When I've worked with individuals like that, they have a trail of very violent, heinous art.
And it's only a matter of time before life imitates art. Luke Jones, Local 12 News.
The team behind the bomb threats was charged in Kentucky with terroristic threatening. It carries a penalty of 5 to 10 years in prison. All right, turning to weather now, where we are on a long streak of nice, dry weather. Meteorologist Caroline Cohen, though, says changes are coming to help anyone who needs a little rain on their grass. Caroline, that is me, but I like this dry streak, I'm not gonna lie.
I know, it's been very nice that we have gotten dry and sunny days, but we are down right now, not just for the month, but for the year. So far this month, 0.35, not even half an inch. So we're down more than 2 inches. And then, as you take a look at the big picture, not doing so well either. We should be up a little bit more so we certainly are in need of some rain. Again, we're down about 2 inches, just over 2 inches for the month and where we should be by this time this year. The good news is we're going to pick up, we're going to add to those totals. We're hopefully going to catch up a little bit for those that are in desperate need of rainmakers. We have multiple chances. Late tomorrow with an approaching low pressure system, storms on Wednesday into Thursday and then exiting by Friday. And then don't worry, those of you who are loving the dry skies, we get another stretch of dry weather. Saturday into early next week, things are looking really nice. Now, before we get to the rain, I do want to point out a few things. One, tomorrow is by no means a washout. Many of you will stay dry through those daytime hours. Other bit of good news, Wednesday, Thursday, we have some scattered storms that should help increase in those lower totals right now. Back to the good news. Thursday, Friday, not major washouts, but Wednesday looks to be our soggiest of days. Right now, though, we are dry and quiet with mainly clear skies. A beautiful look right there at a packed stadium. Things are looking good overhead. We stay dry tonight. I'll time out those rainmakers, though, coming up in my extended 7-day forecast.
All right, Caroline, thank you so much. Governor Mike DeWine's newly created School Bus Safety Working Group held its first public meeting today. The governor announced the new 15-member team following the tragic death of 11-year-old Aiden Clark. He was a Dayton area student who was killed when a minivan collided with his school bus in Clark County. That was on August 22nd. The child was ejected from the bus. The Ohio School Bus Safety Working Group will examine everything from school bus seat belts to driver training and bus regulations. The federal government is awarding nearly $1.5 billion to projects to improve railroad safety and boost capacity. That money will go towards 70 projects across 35 states, including Ohio. This funding is coming from the 2021 infrastructure law. And railroad safety stayed in the spotlight this year after that toxic train derailment in East Palestine that happened back in February. President Biden last week ordered federal agencies to hold Norfolk Southern accountable. The railroad safety bill, introduced by both Ohio senators, Democrat Sherrod Brown and Republican J.D. Vance, is now stalled in the Senate, where it is awaiting a vote. Pandemic-era funds for child care facilities are set to expire at the end of the month. Local Congressman Greg Landsman says his new bill would continue to support providers. The Child Care Nutrition Enhancement Act would increase reimbursements for centers that run food programs. Congressman Landsman says the legislation could mean up to an extra $5,700 a year in reimbursements for a family-run center with 7 children.
And this is a huge issue for me because it's a huge issue for the children and families here in Southwest Ohio. It's a big issue for the country. It is key to our economy and whether or not employers can find the workers that they need. Folks are staying home and not taking certain jobs because they can't afford quality child care.
And child care providers have been funded by the American Rescue Plan of 2021. That money, though, will expire on Saturday. Before this new bill can be approved, Congress must pass a budget or at least a continuing resolution to keep operating at full capacity. The BetMGM Sportsbook is now officially open at the Banks. The permanent gambling site relocated from its original home inside Great American Ballpark. BetMGM is at the corner of 2nd Street and Joe Nuxhall Way. It opens at 10 on Saturday mornings, 8 on Sunday, and 11 during the week. It closes each night between 10 and midnight. Well, the Powerball is still looking for a winner of another massive jackpot. Winning numbers were just drawn for that $785 million jackpot, and you can see them there on your screen. Actually, I'm just going to tell them to you right now. They are 50, 10, 36, 22, 12, and the Powerball is 4. What do you know? There they are right there. The extremely steep odds are about 1 in 292 million, but you got to play to win. A single winner could cash out for $367 million one-time payout. That is a lot of money. All right, an act of kindness becomes a target for a porch pirate. The frustration by one couple who are trying to give their delivery drivers a nice gesture. Plus, look who is talking now. The latest updates to ChatGPT, making it sound a little more human.
Look who saved Slider Sunday again.
Here we go. Perfect King's Hawaiian slider.
Tastes good too. King's Hawaiian Slider Sunday.
The only way to Sunday.
The Writers Guild of America and major Hollywood studios have reached a tentative deal to end the months-long strike. The WGA announcing the tentative agreement in an email to its more than 11,000 members on Sunday evening, calling the deal exceptional. The writers have been on strike since May 2nd, the second longest strike in the union's history. The contract still needs to be ratified by the union's members. In a statement, the WGA says that it could authorize members to return to work on Tuesday before the deal is officially ratified. Meanwhile, the United Auto Workers strike is now in its 10th day. The union is demanding raises of more than 40% and better benefits, pointing to CEO pay raises and record profits. President Biden and former President Trump are both set to speak before UAW workers in Detroit this week. President Biden is planning on joining striking workers on a picket line tomorrow, a step not taken by a sitting president before, while former President Trump is expected to give a speech on Wednesday. Well, time is running out for politicians to avoid a looming government shutdown. Congress has until September 30th to pass a bill. The holdup right now is in the House. Over the weekend, House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy says there's still no progress on a short-term funding bill. Democrats are blaming a small group of House Republicans for the potential shutdown, but some Republicans think they'll still be able to get a bill passed.
Why would they want to stop paying the troops or stop paying the border agents or the Coast Guard? I don't understand how that makes you stronger. I don't understand what point you're trying to make.
The last government shutdown lasted about 35 days and went from just before Christmas in 2018 until the end of January. It cost the government about $3 billion. It's not grand theft, but a porch pirate is leaving a couple pretty frustrated tonight. The thief nabbed a cooler meant for delivery drivers. Myra Franco from our sister station in Fresno, California, talked to that couple about what it means to have their act of kindness stolen.
Caught on camera, a guy walking up to the Navarro's house who then takes a look inside the red cooler, picks it up, then stops, sees another cooler to his left, checks that one out, then goes back to the first one he picked up and takes off with it. It happened Tuesday around 3 a.m. near Maroa and Garland Avenues in Fresno.
I was mad because, they came up to my porch, took something that wasn't theirs. I said, if they want to take the drinks, I'm fine with it. But take the whole cooler and everybody else suffers over it? No.
The homeowners, Jose and Dana Navarro, say the cooler brought so much joy to delivery drivers. For about a year and a half now, they have been putting out a cooler filled with drinks and snacks for them. They say they fill them up weekly.
They're working and it's hot, and my son is a delivery driver and my son-in-law, and they said it makes a big difference for their whole mentality when people do that kind of stuff.
Dana picked up the act of kindness idea to show a small token of appreciation for those who drop things off.
I believe one of her friends did it, so she thought it was a good idea to, especially in Fresno heat, to put out the coolers, just some kind of gratitude for them, because it is a hard job.
When regulars come by, they know a sweet treat and a refreshing drink awaits. For first-timers, they say it's quite a nice surprise.
They don't know what to think. They're like, wow, okay. I love watching their reactions on the video. The one guy said, oh, thank God. It was 110 that day. It was thank God. And he was just ice cold water. And he's like, oh my God. It's fun watching them do it.
You'll now find a post-it note outside the house letting the drivers know why there is no cooler for now.
We just put a little sign up that says, sorry, no treats right now. Somebody stole the cooler.
We hate to see that. The Navarros say this is the second time that someone stole something from their front porch. The first time happened last year when a kid stole a whole basket of candy that they left outside for the delivery drivers after Halloween. However, they say this won't stop them from spreading the goodness in their community. They say they will most likely, they'll start chaining the cooler to the pillars of their house. Unfortunate that they even have to do that. ChatGPT can now talk to you, see you, and hear you. This is getting interesting. The company behind Me AI releasing the popular chatbot to users who subscribe to the $20 per month subscription. You can talk to it and it will talk back. The difference with ChatGPT is the voices are described as being eerily human, as in they sound responsive and smooth. You're also able to upload photos such as food in your fridge, and then it can tell you what recipes you're able to make for dinner. ChatGPT says they worked hard to make sure that nobody can fake voices and photos are kept private. Can you imagine taking a picture, putting it into the app or whatever it is, I'm still confused by it, and then it telling you what you can make for dinner?
No, and I don't know, it kind of, the whole talking back, I don't love that.
I don't even like Siri, to be honest with you.
I never really did either. Occasionally, if I'm driving or I've had it, I'll be in the shower and my alarm goes off and I'll talk to it to turn it off, and I'm still that's crazy that the phone could just listen to you and do that.
I'm just going to listen to you because I know you are real, you are in the flesh, and you have a very accurate forecast.
You're too nice to me. You're too good to me.
Serving them up free compliments tonight, folks.
You really are. I am happy to report that we're getting rain, and typically I don't say I'm happy about that, but we do need it.
We need a little something. I got some mums, and they need a lot of water, I'm told.
They need a lot of TLC, yes. So, looking ahead, I want to first get into the severe chances for weather. As we look at the next few days, tonight we're staying nice and dry, nothing to complain about. Tuesday we have rain late in the day and into the overnight hours. This is just some spotty activity. We do not have a severe threat. However, on Wednesday we're under a marginal risk of strong, potentially severe warned storms. That's a 1 on the scale of 5. It's been a minute since we've had this. Right now it's looking like our biggest threat will include the potential for some isolated gusty winds in those storms and maybe even some isolated hail. But before we get there, we are quiet, a little bit cooler and comfortable tonight. 58 degrees for that overnight low. With that, we stay under mainly clear skies. And even if we have a little bit of cloud cover building in, we're not looking at that precipitation. We hold off until a good portion of tomorrow. As we work our way through tomorrow afternoon, that ushers in a better opportunity for some rain and those isolated storms by the time we get into the evening and overnight, and then more so into your Wednesday. Tomorrow, what you'll notice, though, that cloud cover is building. So we start off with a bit more sunshine. By the afternoon and evening hours, it's mostly cloudy skies. Would it be out of the question to see an isolated shower by about 2, 3, 4 o'clock? No. Is this going to be a washout or ruin your afternoon plans? Certainly not. Other thing to take note of, temperatures. Tomorrow we're climbing a little bit above normal, more like summer as we have another day in the 80s. 82 degrees, we're off to a dry start, late rain. Again, if you have plans tomorrow, I say go forward with them. There's not enough rain to really get in the way. But then by the overnight hours, third shifters heading out early Wednesday. Those of you who have plans throughout the day Wednesday, I would advise you to let's bring the rain gear through the middle of the week because Wednesday poses a better chance for more of us to see rain and a bit of a more widespread event. So we have this low pressure system nudging in. We see the cloud cover build in ahead of it. By early Wednesday before daybreak, we could start to see some of those scattered storms. As they move across the area throughout the day, we have a few rounds expected. So the morning hours looking a little bit soggy, especially as you head into our western communities there. Morning hours feature some isolated storms popping up. This broken line is going to continue to move east, generating a better chance for some of our far eastern and southeastern communities to see some rain, heavy pockets of rain and downpours right around that afternoon evening commute. So we have some of us getting hit in the morning, some in the afternoon and evening, both during those commuting times. Again, this could pose the threat of an isolated severe warned storm Wednesday afternoon and evening, mainly for the fact that we could see some gusty and damaging winds. So today, tomorrow, tonight it's a little too late now. Make sure everything's secured, put away, because we could get some of those stronger gusts through Wednesday and into early Thursday. As far as rain chances through the remainder of the week go, Thursday we have a chance. Most of the storms are kicking out with just a lingering chance on Friday. Again, though, Wednesday really is our soggiest of days. As far as those temperatures go, we do a little up and down. So through the middle of the week, we fall into the 70s. We rebound back into the 80s. And Kyle, as we take a look Friday afternoon through next week, sunny, dry, and back to the 80s.
We love to see it, Caroline. Thank you so much. Coming up next in sports, Burrow is back, but has it helped the Bengals in prime time? Chris Rankel going to tell us after the break.
Look who saved Slider Sunday again.
Here we go. Perfect King's Hawaiian slider.
Tastes good too. King's Hawaiian Slider Sunday.
The only way to Sunday.
From Chris Rankel, the Local 12 444 Sports Report, sponsored by the law offices of Blake Maslin.
Got to limit the effectiveness of Aaron Donald. You know, like I said, he's a Hall of Famer. Can't let him disrupt the game. He's going to make his plays. You understand that. And then again, win the turnover battle, something we didn't do last week when we played the Ravens. We got to be sure we do it against the Rams on Monday night.
That was Zach Taylor last week during our taping for Bengals Nation. Another key would be have number 9 at quarterback. Around 6 o'clock, Burrow was out there warming up, showing he was going to be good to go, even if he was not 100%. We want to get you the score right now because it's coming down to the nitty-gritty. So the Bengals got the onside kick. Is that what I'm hearing? Okay. All right, Bengals are just going into victory formation there. 19-16, the Rams scored with under a minute to go, but the onside kick the Bengals got there in victory formation. The Rams only have one timeout. This has been a close game. The Bengals defense turned it up big time. We'll try to get highlights if the game does go final while we are on the air.
The Jungle Report, sponsored by Planet Fitness.
So while we wait for the game to go final, there was a lot of focus on Joe Burrow, his calf. Would he play, wouldn't he play? But it was a special night for the Bengals and the franchise, and two legends, because today Boomer Esiason and Chad Johnson took their place in the Bengals Ring of Honor, officially becoming members 7 and 8. Ceremony, which began at halftime. Chad, Boomer given their jackets, and the names and numbers in the rafters were unveiled. To get this is how long Boomer's had to wait. His CBS teammate J.J. Watt just retired last year. He's already going into the Texans Ring of Honor this year. Boomer retired in 97. That was 26 years ago. Now he's just getting in. A long time coming for both these Bengals legends. They certainly won't be the last ones. All right, well, it looks like it's going to be a victory Bengals Nation Wednesday at the Kroger OTR Eatery. 6:30, come join us on the second floor of the Kroger OTR. There's food, there's drinks, there's me, there's DJ Reader. You probably want to go see DJ and Mike Hilton more than you want to see me. But hey, we're all there. It's a good time. You can watch the show then at 11:35 on Saturdays. All right, coming up after the break, we will have highlights of the Bengals game that just went final, plus the Reds had the day off. Where do they stand in the playoff push?
Look who saved Slider Sunday again.
Here we go. Perfect King's Hawaiian slider. Tastes good too.
King's Hawaiian Slider Sunday.
The only way to Sunday.
Look who saved Slider Sunday again.
Here we go. Perfect King's Hawaiian slider. Tastes good too.
King's Hawaiian Slider Sunday.
The only way to Sunday.
Look who saved Slider Sunday again.
Here we go. Perfect King's Hawaiian slider. Tastes good too.
King's Hawaiian Slider Sunday.
The only way to Sunday.
Look who saved Slider Sunday again.
Here we go. Perfect King's Hawaiian slider. Tastes good too.
King's Hawaiian Slider Sunday.
The only way to Sunday.
Look who saved Slider Sunday again.
Here we go. Perfect King's Hawaiian slider. Tastes good too.
King's Hawaiian Slider Sunday.
The only way to Sunday.
Look who saved Slider Sunday again.
Here we go. Perfect King's Hawaiian slider. Tastes good too.
King's Hawaiian Slider Sunday.
The only way to Sunday.
Before Shopify, were you wondering, where are my sales at? Now you're selling with Shopify, the global commerce platform supercharging your selling. You have no problem selling online, in person, on social media, and beyond. Gary, easy on the cha-ching.
Oh, sorry, but my Shopify sales are through the roof.
Start selling with Shopify today and discover how millions of businesses around the world use Shopify to ignite their selling. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/YouTube audio. Shopify.com/YouTube audio.
All right, let's get to the highlights now. This game has just gone final in the first quarter. The first drive for the Rams, Tutu Atwell around the end. He dives for the end zone. It would later be reviewed. He would be out at the 3-yard line. Rams threatening. How about DJ Reader, Bengals Nation host, coming right through the middle, getting the sack. The Rams would have to settle for a field goal. Second quarter, Rams on the attack, and the Bengals defense comes up with another stop. Logan Wilson interception, tied at 6 at the half. And in the third quarter, how about this? The first time the Bengals have led this season. It took this long. Joe Mixon, 14-yard touchdown run. The Bengals are up 13-9. Next drive for the Rams, another interception. This time, Logan Wilson, again, it would lead to a Bengals field goal. They're up 16-9. And the fourth quarter, the Bengals pass rush absolutely took over. Trey Hendrickson's sack, that forces a Rams punt, and it would lead to Evan McPherson putting the nail in the coffin. A 54-yard field goal. They go up 19-9, and they end up to go on to win 19-16. All right, meanwhile, the Reds said goodbye to Great American Ballpark, at least as for right now. The team does have 5 games remaining, all on the road, but they're still in the hunt for a wild card spot. They'll go for the Ohio Cup win in Cleveland tomorrow, opening up a 2-game series. Hunter Green will face Lucas Giolito in Game 1. And a wild card standings, not many teams played today. The Diamondbacks did. They lost. So the Cubs and D-backs tied for the final 2 spots of the wild card. Reds 2.5 games out of that final spot with 5 to go. Hey, just win as many as you can, and maybe the Cubs will keep stumbling. Lucho Acosta has been recognized for his big-time performance over the weekend with an MLS Player of the Match Day. He's the 5th time an Orange and Blue player has had that. They are still in control for the Supporters' Shield with 4 matches to go.